Well, hello dragons, and welcome to this instructional video for Lesson 1 Part 2, Scarcity and Choice. The main idea behind this economics lesson is people must decide how to distribute resources in order to satisfy the greatest number of needs and wants. With that in mind, by the end of watching this video, you'll be able to determine why scarcity exists, identify the issues that producers must address to distribute resources, and explain why producers study productivity. Now that the outcomes for this lesson have been shared with you, let's get ready to econ! You have learned that economists study the decisions that people make about using a variety of resources. Why do people need to make these decisions? Consider an economic decision you have faced many times. How to spend a limited amount of money from an allowance, a birthday gift, or your paycheck. You can use the money to buy several CDs, movie tickets for your friends, or a new outfit for school. But you cannot buy all of these things. Because your resources, in this case money, are limited, you are forced to make an economic decision, to choose how you will spend the money. Such limitations on resources, and how people respond to them, are a part of every aspect of economics. All resources are limited. People's wants, however, are unlimited. This combination of limited economic resources and unlimited wants results in a condition known as scarcity. Scarcity is the most basic problem of economics because it forces people to make decisions about how to use resources effectively. Many factors contribute to scarcity. Low amounts of rainfall, for example, may lead to poor harvests and therefore to a scarcity of fruits and vegetables at grocery stores. During World War II, silk and nylon were used to make parachutes, creating a scarcity of women's stockings, which had been produced from these materials during peacetime. How do you and other people respond to scarcity? Limited amounts of products require people to make decisions. People decide how to allocate or distribute resources in order to satisfy the greatest number of needs and wants. To allocate resources effectively, an economic system or a society must address three basic economic questions: what to produce, how to produce, and for whom to produce. The answers to these questions help a society determine the best distribution of resources to meet its needs and wants. A society's needs and wants can never be met completely. Therefore, the society's economic system must determine the urgency of those needs and wants. Suppose that a large number of people decide to move to a particular city, and that many of them have school-aged children. Should the city build a new school to accommodate these children, or should more money be spent on school buses and drivers so that more students can attend existing schools? What if a new school and additional buses are necessary? The city must decide what resources will be allocated for construction and what resources will be allocated for transportation. A society can allocate resources in many different ways. During construction of the new school, for example, the builder must decide how the roof will be built. Suppose that a worker can attach shingles using either a hammer and nails or a nail gun. Either method will result in a stable, well-made roof. A worker using a nail gun will work faster and tire more slowly than a worker using a hammer. How does the builder choose a method of production? If unemployment is high, the builder may decide that hiring additional workers is less expensive than investing in equipment. If workers demand high wages, the builder can decide to hire fewer workers and provide them with equipment that increases their speed. A society must determine how to distribute the goods and services that it produces. For example, who will attend the new school? Will any students at existing schools be transferred to the new school? How will city residents pay for construction? To allocate resources effectively, a society must consider who will consume goods and services. After choosing what, how, and for whom to produce, a society must carry out these decisions. In doing so, the society tries to make sure that its resources are used as effectively as possible. Remember, the problem of scarcity forces people to make wise use of resources. People determine if resources are being used wisely by studying productivity. Productivity is the level of output that results from a given level of input. For example, suppose that the Sleepy Time Clock Company employs 100 people to build 1,000 alarm clocks per week. Sleepy Time's productivity, thus, is 10 clocks per employee per week, or 1,000 divided by 100, which results in 10. Now imagine that the company president decides that productivity is too low and asks staff members to suggest improvements. The finance manager for Sleepy Time points out that each worker builds an entire clock from start to finish. She suggests that the company find ways to improve efficiency, which is the use of the smallest amount of resources to produce the greatest amount of output. One option might be for the factory to introduce a division of labor, assigning a small number of tasks to each worker. For example, one worker might attach the clock face, and another might install the power switch. Because these steps are performed repeatedly, workers gain expertise in the assigned tasks. This focus on one activity is known as specialization. The process of specialization allows each employee to work faster and produce a greater number of alarm clocks. Introducing division of labor would enable the Sleepy Time Company to increase production to 5,000 alarm clocks per week. On the other hand, the Sleepy Time Company might decide to increase efficiency by finding shortcuts that allow workers to construct clocks more quickly. Now, only 25 employees would be needed to produce 1,000 alarm clocks per week. Although the company produces the same number of clocks, productivity increases because input, the number of workers, is reduced. A third option might involve mechanization. Some of the workers might be replaced by machines that work faster and longer, and therefore at a lower cost per unit than employees. So that's the way it is with Lesson 1, Part 2, Scarcity and Choice. At this point, you should know that scarcity is the most basic problem of economics. 3 questions help societies and economic systems allocate resources effectively: what to produce, how to produce it, and for whom it is being produced. And productivity is studied to determine how effectively resources are being allocated, which can be improved through adopting efficiency. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel to have the entire catalog of economics videos available at your fingertips. Click the subscribe button and then click the follow bell to receive notifications as to when the channel is updated. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in class, Dragons.